Okay, now I just chose the books for the tropes that I pulled from my cup. So now I have all the books on my TBR. I do have a special video that I'm planning on doing in July, so I am not going to put those books on my official July TBR, but I do have other things in the works, but these are the main books that I want to get read this month. So the first one I want to read is Fire in His Veins by Ruby Dixon. In the month of June, I read the next book in the Dragonfire, I think it's Ruby Dixon's Dragon Shifter series, and I wanted to continue on in that series as well. This follows a series that shows dragons who have come to Earth in a huge rift, and they have come to Earth and they are just overtaken with madness and they are destroying the humans. The humans are trying to survive these dragons, and the only way a dragon can be tamed is if it finds a mate. So each book follows a dragon finding a mate, and there's also like a mystery involved through this series about how the dragons came to be on Earth and how they can try to fix it. So it's a very interesting series, and I wanted to read the next one. And then the next one I want to read is Barbarian's Treasure by Ruby Dixon. This is her latest book in the Ice Planet Barbarian series. I think it is number 18 in the series. I have read all of the other ones plus all of the novellas in the series, and so I want to read the latest one. I think it came out in May or June, I can't remember, but I want to read it. It follows one of the girls, human girls, that first landed on the ice planet and after they were abducted by aliens, and now they have to survive on this ice planet with another type of alien who they're like fated mates. So I want to read the last one in that series. And I also want to read Rain by Sahoban Davis. This book comes out in July, and I'm very excited for it. It's the third book in the series. It's a reverse harem series, and this follows a girl who has really gone through a lot in her life. She was abducted when she was little. Her dad was killed by this gang, and she has fallen in love with all 4 guys in the gang who's like in the junior part of it. Their eyes are opening to what their gang has done to these people and to her, and so they are trying to protect her. And yeah, it's very interesting, and it's reverse harem, and yeah. I'm totally here for it, and I can't wait to read the 3rd installment in the series. Then I want to read A Lesson in Thorns by Sierra Simone. This book has been on my TBR for a while. It's also another reverse harem book. I've heard a lot of people have read this and it has great reviews, and I don't know why it's taking me this long to pick it up because I've really been wanting to read it. But I heard somebody talk about it the other day, and I said, I've got to read this. I've got to put it on my July TBR because I really am interested in this book. I don't know, I didn't read the synopsis before doing this video, so I can only go by what I've heard others say. It's this place, and I'm not even really sure. I know the parents of these kids, they used to gather at this place and do some kind of rituals and stuff, and so now these kids their kids are at this particular place, and they are pretty much, I think, taking over what their parents had done before, something to that effect. So it sounds very interesting, so I can't wait to read it. And then Mariana Zapata is coming out with a new book at the end of July called Hands Down, and I am totally here for it. I love Mariana Zapata, and I've been working through her backlist for a while now. And she's coming out with this new book. It's a sports romance. I really don't know anything else in that. It's a football sports romance, and I totally love The Wall of Winnipeg in me, and so I'm hoping this lives up to that kind of book, because I had such a book hangover after I read The Wall of Winnipeg in me. I just haven't found anything that comes close to that one. So I'm really looking forward to reading this new book by Mariana Zapata. I participated in a readathon in June called the Romance-a-thon, and I had selected 5 books for the series, but I only read 4. I didn't get the 5th book finished, so I thought, why not add it to my July TBR? I've been wanting to read it for a while anyway. It is Well Met by Jen DeLuca. This is about a girl who takes her niece to these Renaissance fairs, and she meets this guy at the Renaissance fair, and I love anything to do with Renaissance, and it sounds marvelous, and I'm looking forward to reading it as well. Then I want to read a book that Avery recommended. I will list her channel down in the description below. I watched their live romance chat video the other day, and she had recommended this. It is another alien romance series. I love the alien romance series because I love all the ones that Ruby Dixon has done, and I would like to read more, so I put it on my list. Now comes the books that I drew from my cups. So the first trope I drew was Friends to Lovers, and I chose Culty by Mariana Zapata. This is another sports romance that she wrote, and it follows a girl who is a soccer player, and her team gets this new coach, and she falls for him. So I think it's a bit of an age gap, and I am really looking forward to reading this book. I've heard about this book for forever, and when it said Friends to Lovers, I knew exactly what I wanted to read because I've been wanting to read this book for forever now. The second trope I drew was queer, and I chose Wolf Song by TJ Klune. I have heard so many booktubers recommend this book, and I have been wanting to read it too. Pretty much all of these books I've been wanting to read for a long time, so knocking those books off my TBR. This is about a wolf, werewolf, and it is an MM romance, and it sounds wonderful. Cannot wait to read this. I've been wanting to read it for a long time, and I feel like I've been saying it about all of these books, but this one really has been on my TBR for a while now, and I'm so looking forward to getting it read. And then the first book in the series is the Texting series by Tegan Hunter, and that is the number 2 book in her series. It is I Want to Text You Up, and this follows the heroine from the first book. This is her best friend story, and she is falling for her best friend's ex-boyfriend, Caleb. So that will be very interesting to read about. And the other series is the Element series by Brittany C. Cherry. I have read the first one and the 4th one in this series, and I am going to read the second series, which is The Fire Between High and Low. And it sounds like from the synopsis that they're childhood friends and that they're both kind of broken, and she just kind of is his salvation pretty much in life, but then something happens to where they're broken apart. So I'm very looking forward to this book. All of Brittany C. Cherry books are very emotional and hard-hitting, and I love that because it really speaks to my soul, and I love reading about emotional stories. And I also want to read Breaking Gravity by Autumn Gray. I read the first one, Fall Back Skyward, in my Romance-a-thon readathon in June, and I want to go ahead and finish out the series because there's only 2 books in the series. And this follows the heroine's sister from the first book. She is a cello player, and she meets this cello teacher at the school nearby, or the school she attends, I'm not sure, but he did come to the school near where she lives to teach, and she falls for him, and it's an age gap romance. And I also want to continue on in the Hade's Hangman. I got several read back in June, and I want to go ahead and continue because I only have 2 books left in the series. This is Darkness Embrace by Tilly Cole, and this follows a guy named Tanner. He came to the motorcycle club because he had been in the Ku Klux Klan, and he was the leader's son, so he was just raised in that environment and mentality, and he thought that white supremacy was right. But then he realizes after he falls in love with a girl from Mexico that there is more to life and that white supremacy is very wrong. And so he leaves his father's group and joins the Hayes Hangman Motorcycle Club, and this is their love story. I'm pretty sure she is captured or kept in some kind of captivity and he has to go rescue her. So a lot of action in these motorcycle club books that I really like. Just from Peace Love Books and someone else, I can't remember off the top of my head. I should have wrote this down before I started filming. But I will definitely leave links in the description below, so please go check out their channels and Instagrams. They are putting on a read-along to read the Palm South University series by Candy Steiner, because the 5th one is coming out at the end of July. So they thought, hey, reading the first 4 books to get caught up to the 5th one would be a good read along. And I have been wanting to read more Candy Steiner's books, so I plan to read along with them. If you look on their Instagram, they have all the info on what dates they plan to read, and they're going to do a live video chatting about the books. And so it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to reading these books along with these great booktubers. So that is all of the books in my July TBR. Let me know what you plan to read in July, and if you've read any of the books that is on my TBR and how you like them. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.